judgment, we all get to unite and stop the fuss and fight. Remember what Marcus Garvey said, and I'm gonna know themselves until their back is against the wall. And that is the time when they're gonna fall. Who know Jah, know him already. Who no know him better, know him now. Who know Jah, know him already. Rastaman, hang on steady. In this time of judgment, we all get to see the light and know the truths and rights. In this time of judgment, we all get to unite and stop the fuss and fight. Against the wall, and that is the time when they're gonna fall. Who know Jah, know him already. Who no know him better, know him now. Who know Jah, know him already. Rastaman, hang on steady. Now this a time of judgment. We all get to see the light and know the truths and rights. In this a time of judgment, we all get to unite and stop the fuss and fight. In this a time of judgment, we all get to know ourselves.
Shalom, family. Shalom, shalom. All right. So, as people who follow me, you know that my page just came back online. They did. I guess I got hated on because I have some family members. They come on my page and they scoff. And I think what happened was a lot of people reported my videos. And anyway, YouTube, they deleted my channel, so I got deleted. So I made another channel. So I'll put the other channel on the bottom of this video so you can go and follow it. So it's a backup channel. But for some reason, they gave me my channel back. Now I had minus 100 and some followers, but I got it back, and they apologize. So that's weird. That's weird. So anyway, I'm gonna do a new video because things have changed. Oh, and you can go to my BitChute. I have a BitChute account, and I got an Odyssey account. I put the BitChute. It's on my home page, and you'll see the BitChute logo. And videos that I can't upload right here, I put them over there. All right. So I'm going to get into Apocalypse of Abraham, chapter 30. If you guys don't have this book, I can send you the link on how to download it. This book right here, it's golden. And we're going to go over some of the plagues that's happening right now that the Most High has set for the heathen. So we're going to read chapter 30, Apocalypse of Abraham. We're going to read chapter 30, 31, and all the way to 32. And that's what we're going to do. All right. And then as I'm reading this, I'm going to show you some videos on each plague that's inside this book. Now, this is why the heathens, they don't know about this stuff, because they took these books out and told you don't read them and made you feel bad if you read them. The reason why they don't want you to read them is because they're going to keep this charade on for as long as they can. But now all the plagues are here, and now they're trying to blame it on climate change. So it's just very wicked. It's just very wicked. Something that these heathens have done. And not just the heathens, our own people too. Well, actually, they are heathens too. These Negroes who are just gone, man. And what's so sad about it is that mainly the ones that I know are my family members. You know, so we're going to get into this chapter right here. All right, so we're going to start off at Apocalypse of Abraham, chapter 30. And it goes like this. And while he was still speaking, I found myself on earth. And I said, Eternal Mighty One, I am no longer in the glory in which I was above. And all that my soul desired to understand, in my heart I do not understand. And he said to me, I will explain to you the things you desired in your heart. For you have sought to know the 10 plagues which I prepared against who? The heathen. And I prepared them beforehand in the passing of the 12th hour. So this shows you that the Most High, he has prepared plagues for the heathen, because we all know that in the last days that Jerusalem will be trodden down with Gentiles. And we all know what the Messiah said. I believe that's Jeremiah, where he said he's going to come up. The lion is coming up from his thicket. The lion is coming up from his thicket, and he's the destroyer of the Gentiles. We all know that scripture. Matter of fact, let me get it. The lion is come up from his thicket. It's Jeremiah 4, verse 7. The lion is... matter of fact, I'll get it real quick. Let me get it. Jeremiah 4, verse 7. Well, actually, let me just get this real quick. Jeremiah 4, verse 7. All right, let me keep reading. And I prepared them beforehand in the passing of the 12 hours on earth. Hear what I tell you, it will be thus. The first, sorrow from much need. The second, fire conflagrations of the cities. So sorrow for much need, which means people are going to be needing a lot of things, like what's happening right now. It's been going on. It's been going on like that already. But see, here in America, in the daughter of Babylon, and not just America, but UK, all these other European nations, there's been no food shortages or anything. But now they're here. They're here now. All right. The second, fire conflagrations of cities. We know about that, right? We know all the cities that were burning. That was all burning up, right? Okay. Matter of fact, let me see if I can drop a video for you on that. Let me see if I can get a video for you right quick. Let me see. Europe is sinking. Here's one. Yeah, this is bad. This is bad. So we got fire, we got floods. It's very bad. We got, what's this, droughts? Yeah, so it's not looking good for the heathens. Alright? That's that video. It's not looking good for the heathens. Alright? The third, destruction by pestilence by among the cattle. Let's see if we can get that one. Let's see if we can get that one. Destruction by pestilence among the cattle. Let's see if we can drop that one. Let me see. Let's see what this is. Let's see here. There we go.
Only forecast and hope that they were proven wrong somehow. However, what is happening at the border right now should serve as a major wake-up call for all of us. In an article released by the Los Angeles Times entitled "In Drought-Plagued Northern Mexico, Tens of Thousands of Cows Are Starving to Death," Mexican farmers and ranchers expose the devastating situation they're now facing. In the arid hills of southern Sonora, local farmer Marco Antonio Gutierrez wakes up early to count the carcasses of rotting cows.
Wow.
On that day, Gutierrez found 9 skulls of cows that were simply felled by heat and hunger. There's nothing for them to eat, he lamented. For many others like him who have been working in the industry for generations, this is a scene that seems incredibly hard to believe that it's actually happening. They've never seen such a calamity in decades and decades of hard work.
Calamity. Hear
Sadly,
that?
there's not.
Hear that? Calamity. Calamity. The destruction by pestilence among the cattle. The fourth, you see that one. So once the cattle goes, and not to mention all the shipping containers, right? I'm going to get into that too. I got some videos on that. So I just showed you. Matter of fact, let me play just about another 30 seconds.
Cows were added to the other 61 Gutierrez has lost just this year. Although the farmer doesn't use the phrase climate change to describe what's happening, he laments that every year seems drier and hotter than the last. In recent months, he has helplessly seen 70 of his 100 cows starve to death. But Gutierrez's loss only represents a fraction of the overall tragedy. Just in Sonora, the number of cattle has dropped by nearly 50% this year alone.
And just so you guys don't get it twisted, Mexico is a European nation. A lot of people like to get it all confused and say, the whole 12 tribe chart thing, but I'm rebuking that whole thing. Now, I did research on this. You can go look on my past videos, the whole 12 tribe chart, whole debunk thing. Most Mexicans, the majority of them and Latinos, their main bloodline is European. And that indigenous Native American ancestry, that's Asian. So basically, they're European mixed with Asians. So don't get fooled by none of that other stuff, okay? Let's keep going.
The article describes that 2 years of extreme drought have turned large stretches of northern Mexico into a boneyard. Between starvation and ranchers forced to prematurely sell or prematurely slaughter their livestock, officials say the number of cattle in Sonora has dropped from 1.1 million to about 635,000. That's an unimaginably painful loss for a state that is known all over the world for its high-quality cows, and where beef is not just the main part of the diet and economy, but also a tradition that keeps families united. Sonora ranchers say that due to a mix of native grasses, their beef has a distinctive texture. According to the article, by the second half of the 20th century, livestock had become big business in the region, cattle roaming over 85% of the state. Tens of thousands of ranchers raised steers to sell at auction, many for export to the United States. Now here in America, the impact of this tragedy will be seen in acute price hikes and, of course, shortages of meat. Each year, the United States usually imports over 500 million pounds of beef from Mexico, but now the state is being ravaged by scorching hot temperatures. This crisis is bound to only get worse. In less than 3 decades, climate experts predict that Sonora will receive 20% to 30% less rain than today, and frequently see temperatures as high as 122 degrees. For America Lutzley, who is a social scientist at El Colegio de Sonora who studies land use.
Now, that lady is an Edomite. If you do her DNA, I'm pretty sure she's about 60% European, probably 5% Native American, which is Asian, and then the rest, little small stuff. So don't be fooled. This judgment is coming upon these people. These people are Spaniards. These Latinos and Mexicans, they're Spaniards. That's who they are. They're Spaniards. They're in charge for putting us. They're descendants of the people in charge for putting us in slavery. So these plagues are sent for them too. So don't get it twisted, y'all. Don't get it twisted. These plagues are for them.
Cattle ranching in the state in its current form is simply not sustainable, mainly because of the huge amount of water needed to grow food for the herds. We live in a desert, yet we're in the business of exporting water in the form of livestock.
So anyway, you see that. So once the pestilence of the livestock happens, what comes after that? The fourth famine of the world of their generation. Now, we've seen famine before in other third world countries, but this is a different plague. This says the whole world. The whole world. All right, now let's get some famine stuff, because a lot of people is not really understanding what's happening right now. Let's look at this.
Off the coast of Los Angeles, the reason you're paying more for everyday items and perhaps struggling to find some in the store, a vital parking lot in the Pacific. Container ships, mostly from Asia, stretching across the horizon. To get an up-close view, we rode along with LA Port Police Marine 12. It didn't take long, the radar suddenly filled with ships.
That's it right here. They're right outside the outer harbor.
76 ships waiting for up to 10 days each to enter the port of Los Angeles or nearby Long Beach.
Everywhere you look, there's a ship just sitting out here in the water.
And 500,000 containers. But this is just one component of the stretched global supply chain that runs from Asian manufacturers across the Pacific to American consumers, now backed up and bottlenecked. Gene Soroka runs the Port of Los Angeles, America's biggest.
How many ships a day now are coming in here?
In the last month and a half, we're averaging 18 ships a day.
That's nearly double the number that arrived daily before the pandemic. Making matters worse, there aren't enough truck drivers to take the goods from the docks to the nation's stores.
The American importer cannot digest all of this cargo into their domestic supply chains. 50% of all truckers licensed to do business at ports no longer come here.
Hired away by internet and big chain retailers. It's not just California, New York's ports are also backed up, and leading to a shortage of everything, from electronics to toys to cars and car parts, building materials, clothing, and sending prices higher.
A lot of those holiday gifts you're hoping to give right now may be stuck sitting out here on the water. The question is whether they're going to be offloaded out of those massive containers onto the trucks, onto the rail lines, and to your local store in time for the holidays.
So the books not showing up in time or showing up one at a time would affect us greatly.
Ashley Kristoff owns Serendipity and Muse House Retreat gift shops in Studio City, now hoping her orders arrive in time for the holidays.
What we were being quoted was 4 to 6 weeks turnaround time, but some of the orders that I had placed earlier in the year I still have yet to see.
Her own supply chain now backed up into the Pacific. Yeah, so the
So you seen that. Let me give you something else too. Let me show you something else.
The food supply chain is breaking. That's the warning in a full-page ad from Tyson Foods, released in the New York Times on Sunday. It comes after one of the country's largest meat processors closed a massive pork processing plant in Iowa because of a coronavirus outbreak. The letter from Tyson's president going on to say, there will be limited supply of our products available in grocery stores until we're able to reopen our facilities that are currently closed.
Ambulances started coming to our plant. People started being carried out of there, and so we were always asking our supervisors, basically, what is it that's going on here?
NBC News talked to one Tyson worker at that Iowa plant who concealed their identity.
They didn't have enough material or masks and things like that to provide to us, so they would start giving us different types of rags and stuff that they had washed and cleaned.
Tyson responding, telling NBC News, we've been working diligently to protect our team members. Early on, we allowed workers to bring their own masks, and we even supplied some until we could secure surgical-style coverings, which we now require all team members to wear. Adding, we aren't aware of any ambulance visits to the plant.
All right, you've seen that. And let me get you something else from a rancher. Now, it gets more sinister. It gets more sinister than this. The rancher is saying that the government is forcing them to destroy their crops. Let's get this.
Hey everybody, this is Shad Sullivan coming to you from the headwaters of Bitter Creek, Archer County, North Texas. We have to talk. State officials will be assisting to help identify potential alternative markets if a producer is unable to move animals, and if necessary, advise and assist on depopulation and disposal methods. Ladies and gentlemen, we are plowing under vegetable crops from coast to coast. We are euthanizing millions of chickens. We are aborting sows and burying feeder pigs. We are dumping milk by the hundreds of thousands of gallons, and now they are preparing us to depopulate the fat cattle ready to harvest because of a bottleneck created by the effects of COVID. This thing hasn't been created by COVID, but the effects of COVID and the logistics therein. We are in trouble. Our food supply is in trouble, and I am appealing to producers and consumers across the nation to start calling. Yesterday, the first shipment of imported beef from the country of Namibia hit the shores of the United States of America. And yet this morning, they are telling us to prepare to euthanize harvest-ready cattle. Am I the only one that sees a problem in this? It is time we get the American people back to work. It is time we get money flowing. It is time we get food on the shelves. Because if you're not concerned about this food supply problem, you better be. We have a huge supply and demand of food across this nation. We can feed the world ourselves, and yet we're destroying our harvests. At the same time, we are importing beef from other countries, beef that is less regulated than our beef, less safe, not as high quality a product, and yet it's happening. At the same time, they are preparing for us to euthanize our harvests. Does that make sense to America? For the last 10 years, we have been pressed to be sustainable. I've said all along, sustainability is a fraud. And right now, we're being forced to destroy our harvests. That doesn't sound like sustainability to me. It is time we get back to work.
Sure does.
It is time.
You see, so that's a farmer. He's telling you that that something's happening, and they're being made to get rid of their animals. Why are they doing that? Let's get one more thing, y'all. One more thing.
Tonight, we're following a perfect storm of supply chain disruptions and labor shortages now impacting school lunches across the country. CBS's Mark Strassman tells us how one district in Alabama is making sure no students go hungry.
We are looking for beef tips. It's one of our most popular menu items.
At Sam's Club, Casey Davis had another daunting last-minute grocery list.
And then one more.
She needed 180 pounds of beef tips, the next day's school lunch.
It's not a solution to the problem.
The problem is this food delivery truck. It's short again, way short.
At this point, we're making a plan.
Davis directs nutrition for schools in Elmore County, Alabama, feeding about 8,000 kids.
It appears that there are cracks at all points in that supply chain.
You make it up as you go.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
A county-wide issue and a countrywide one, affecting millions of kids. In one survey, 97% of school nutrition programs worry about continued supply chain issues. Cinnamon Toast Crunch for lunch? One Georgia mother posted, "This is unacceptable." Back in Alabama, Casey Davis had to buy 180 pounds of beef roast, not beef tips. Cost $1,500. That's all she could find for Redland Elementary to serve.
Are you sometimes surprised by what you have for lunch?
Yes.
Is it a good surprise or a bad surprise?
In the middle.
To help America's school systems struggling to serve meals, the USDA announced it's pumping in $1.5 billion. The agency reimburses Elmore County for Davis's grocery runs.
You look at a kid eating and think to yourself, you have no idea how hard that was to pull off.
Well, that's just like with my own kids. If y'all knew how hard that was for me to figure out that bill, you'd clean it up for me.
At Redland...
So you see that, all right? Okay, now let me get some scripture now. I'm still reading the Apocalypse of Abraham, because remember, that was just the fourth one. All right, the fifth is going to be among the rulers and destruction by earthquake and the sword. Now, I'll give you some videos on that, but before I get to that, I want to get you 2nd Esdras and Pseudepigrus, the 4th book of Esdras, but if you look inside the Apocrypha, it's the 2nd Esdras, chapter 16. And we're going to start off at 18, all right? The beginning of sorrows, when there shall be much lamentation, the beginning of what? What'd that say? Famine. When many shall perish, the beginning of wars, when the power shall be terrified, the beginning of calamities, when all shall tremble. What shall they do in these circumstances when the calamities come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for the correction of man. See what the Most High is doing? He's setting all you heathens up for you to be corrected. You guys will come when all this is done, when everyone dies of famine and everyone drops dead from the, you know what? You guys are all going to come from the ends of the earth, and you guys are going to tell us, the Israelites, the so-called Negro, that you guys have inherited lies. That's what you guys are going to do. Yet for all this they would not turn from their iniquities, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Behold, listen to this. Behold, provisions will be so cheap upon the earth that men shall imagine that peace is assured for them. And then calamity shall spring up on the earth, the sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of those who live on the earth shall perish by famine, and those who survive the famine shall die by the sword, and the dead shall be cast out like dung. You see, the Most High is not playing. He's not playing. This is about to happen, and you Israelites who want to cleave on to these heathens, you're gonna be suffering the plagues with them. All right. Now let's get back to the Apocalypse of Abraham. The 6th increase. Well, first the 5th among the rulers, destruction by earthquake and sword. All right, let's get that. Let's get that. Let's get the earthquake and the sword, because we know what's happening with that. Because these earthquakes, they are I don't know how many earthquakes it was in the past, however many weeks, but earthquakes, man, it's it's not playing. Like the Most High is not playing with these devils, man. Climate, see, they call it climate change, but we know what it is. They call it climate change. Tsunamis from earthquakes. That's one of the plays too. So just so we can have an understanding, let me get back to this right real quick. It says the destruction by earthquake and the sword, the 6th increase of hail and snow. You guys see those that hail and snow they just showed? You guys seen that? Yeah. This is what's happening. The Most High is not playing with these people. So it's happening everywhere, and you see it's happening mainly to the European and Asians. You see that? That's who this is happening to. Conflagrations of the cities, wildfires. We just read that. Earthquakes and tornadoes. Right? Tropical storms. See, the Most High is not playing with these people. He's not playing. Increase of hail and snow. Let me get one more. Let me get another one. Let me see where it's at. Now you see what's happening to these people. They are being judged. They're being judged. This was the one that was execution by the sword that I was trying to get.
And Houston's homicide rate is up compared to last year. The city has reached nearly 200 homicides versus 148 this time last year. Why are murders surging then? And what can be done about it? Here's Sherman Chow.
Nothing can be done about it.
Homicides in Houston are up. It's clear from daily headlines to monthly crime reports. The biggest question, why? Critics.
This is why. Let me show you why. Destruction by earthquake and the sword. That's why. It's a plague. And it's not just for Europeans, it's for Negroes too, the wicked Negroes who are out here celebrating Christmas and Halloween, and they can't wait for the next wicked holiday. The 6th increase of hail and snow. Alright? Let me get that one right quick. Here you go.
This is Dapu 7. This storm system sweeping across the United States right now has sparked a state of emergency in Oregon. We also have an emergency declaration that has been issued inside of Texas. Here in the Midwest, in Kentucky, we're also seeing sheets of ice coming down in different areas, and this is going to be a problem on many roadways. It already is. Wrecks already stacking up, 75, seeing multiple wrecks already, and this is just beginning. As I said, Oregon declared a state of emergency, and here in Texas, Governor Abbott said the incoming weather is unprecedented in Texas history. So they've asked for a federal emergency declaration to be issued, and the last that I've seen, that was granted. So Texas bracing for an unprecedented winter storm, as already wrecks are stacking up. Now this is a look at the utilities places.
So Texas, unprecedented winter storm. We all know about that. All right? We know about that. Now let's get to the next one. The 7th, wild beast will be their grave. Oh man, this is a good one right here. Let's get this. Look, watch this one, y'all.
Shakira is safe after a scary encounter. The music superstar revealed she was attacked by a pair of wild boars at a park in Barcelona this week, sharing on her Instagram story that the beast even stole her bag and ran off with all the belongings still inside, including her cell phone.
Just so you know, Shakira is an Edomite. She's not no Israelite like these brothers say. She's a wicked heathen. She hates our guts. She's European. All right, don't get it twisted. That's why she got robbed by some wild boars. Oh my gosh. Let me get something else. Let me see. Where's it at? Man. Let's get something else.
Civilization is amazing. Of the shark. Now here's where the story gets incredible. While Vance's wife took the children off to safety, he held on to the shark and wrestled it to the beach. He did it because other children were in the area and he was scared that the shark could hurt them. Thankfully, park rangers came and killed the shark for good. Jesse's arm was retrieved from its throat and was reattached. Unfortunately, Jesse suffered permanent brain damage from the attack. Number 9. Attacked by a bear. Bear hugs from people you love are amazing. Bear hugs from bears are definitely not as much fun. 46-year-old hunting guide Kotu Shaw was working at his job when he was attacked by a polar bear. The year was...
You hear that? A hunting guide. So that means he aids in the help of people hunting bears. And then he got attacked by a bear. He got what was coming to him. That's a plague also that's set upon these heathens too.
2003. The location was Canada, and Shaw's life was in grave danger. The polar bear attacked Shaw's tent by opening a gigantic hole in the canvas. When he woke up, he decided to run away, but he tripped over a rock and fell. This made it easy for the bear to attack. Instead of killing Shaw right there, the bear dragged his prey by the toes to the edge of the ocean. What the bear did next is quite predictable. He sunk his claws into the back of Shaw and proceeded to tear off his scalp with paper. Thankfully, the cook of the group shot the polar bear before further damage was done. Shaw was transported to the hospital where he underwent over 13 hours of surgery and received about 300 stitches to reattach his scalp. Number 8.
Wow.
Don't mess with the great white. Most people don't enjoy working during work breaks. Lisa Mundy, a wildlife tour, certainly didn't expect to encounter any wildlife when she was enjoying her lunch break in the sun. Unfortunately, a great white shark had other ideas. Lisa was wakeboarding when she missed her board and plunged into the water. 13-foot-long shark attacked her vertically and clamped his mouth on her head. The shark tried to drag Lisa underwater, but she was able to let loose because of her life jacket. So you could say that the life jacket really lived up to its name. Lisa survived with grievous injuries. Her face and neck were cut into tatters, and it took a 16-hour surgery to get it all reattached. Thankfully, Lisa regained all feeling.
Yeah. There's one about a hippo.
When you think of hippopotami, you most likely don't think of aggressive animals who have the ability to be extraordinarily deadly. Well, that's because they have good PR. But what happens when the hype proves not to be real? Paul Templar, a river guide, was working with a group of tourists when this hippo emerged from under the Zambezi River and attacked his group. Meanwhile, a tourist named Evans got thrown into the water by the hippos, and Templar had to try to save him. He managed to grab hold of the tourist, but before he knew it, he was in the mouth of the animal. The hippo crushed Templar, threw him up, and shook him like a rag doll. Finally, the hippo dragged Templar to the depths of the river to drown him. Fortunately, the animal got tired and Templar was spat out. By then, he had gotten 40 puncture wounds and his arm was non-existent. Luckily for him, a team of surgeons were able to put him back together. Sadly, he died, and his body was found 2 days later. Number 4.
So you see that. Wild beasts will be their grave. That's a plague. Alright? Wild beasts will be their grave. Look at this one. The 8th, pestilence and hunger will change their destruction. That means all the other plagues are now going to be switching out and be going at the same time. Listen to this one. The 9th, execution by the sword. I already showed you that one. And flight in distress. The 10th, thunder, voices, and destroying earthquakes. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. Watch this.
Listen to this. There's a sound screaming. Okay, it's like a scream. It's so freaking loud, and it's coming from up in the air, like up there. Is it going on now? What is that? I swear I saw like this thing when the lightning was flashing a second ago. What the fuck? Dude, that's coming from like up in the sky outside of my apartment. I'm gonna do it. What is that? I haven't heard it like that yet. Gee, check this out. Listen. This is coming from the sky above my apartment. It's been going on for half an hour. Hold on. It's coming from up in the air. What is that? That's so scary. It sounds like someone screaming. Then it sounds like a bunch of like Indians whooping in the distance.
So he's in his apartment right here. And then he actually goes outside.
What is that bizarre sound?
See, he don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Saber.
So he got to go outside and investigate. You see the thunder?
It's a blood scream.
You see the thunder? Thunder, voices, and destroying earthquakes.
Up here, in the sky.
And we know about all the earthquakes.
Anybody else hear that? Oh, gross, I stepped in a bunch of mud. What is that sound? No,
coming from the heavens. That's what it's coming from. It's a plague that's sent to scare you.
This is so bizarre. I better not. It's coming off from that direction. What up, Bob? I'm trying to figure out what this sound is. It's been going for like half an hour now. You hear it? But then it'll stop, and then it'll scream really loud, like a banshee. Hold on, wait. You'll hear it in a second, Bob. What up, Solver? What up, Nessa? Hold on. That is so loud and so, like, eerie.
Yeah, it's eerie, all right. So that's a plague. So the Most High is bringing plagues upon these heathens. All right, thunder voices and destroying earthquakes. Let's keep going. Let's finish the chapter off, and then I'll bring out some more scriptures. Then I will sound the trumpet out of the air, and I will send my chosen one, having in him one measure of all my power. That's the Messiah. That's Yahushua HaMashiach. And he will summon my people humiliated by the heathen. Now, how were we humiliated by the heathen? How? Let's show something right here real quick. Let's see how we were humiliated by these heathens. Alright? This is why they are catching these plagues.
The bodies of Robert Fuller and Malcolm Harsh were discovered hanging from trees in two public venues, 10 days and 50 miles apart, though police say neither death appears to be connected or shows any indication of foul play. Tonight, their shocking death.
So, no signs of foul play. Just two Negroes being hung. See now what they do is they deem all the hangings a suicide. That's what they do. See, they think they're getting away with this, but the Most High is not going to let them get away with it.
Are leading to calls for the state attorney general to investigate.
We've been hearing one thing, then we hear another, and we just want to know the truth.
24-year-old Robert Fuller's body was discovered hanging from a tree in a park near Palmdale City Hall. The LA County Sheriff's Office first saying the scene appeared to be a suicide, then today deferring the official cause of death. Investigators will now examine the rope and knot to see how it was tied.
The rope and knot.
And it is our interest to make sure it will leave no rock unturned.
It comes as protesters demand an independent probe and a homicide investigation.
We want truth, we want answers, we demand answers now.
When authorities found Malcolm Harsh's body hanging near a local library and homeless encampment in Victorville, they indicated no signs of foul play.
See that? No signs of foul play. So our people have been being hung for centuries, but now all of a sudden, all the hangings, they just got hung by themselves, and there's no foul play, no nothing. You see, these devils, they're going to pay for what they've done, and the Most High is judging them. That's why he sent the plagues.
The cause of death still pending, but Harsh's family says this was not a suicide.
I couldn't believe it because I had talked to him a few nights before, and we had made plans to see each other.
The Harsh family also noted the current racial tension and protest in this country, adding the death of a black man found hanging from a tree does not sit well or make sense. Tonight, California's Attorney General and the FBI getting involved, looking into the death of two black men, raising questions across the country. Miguel Almaguer, NBC News, Los Angeles.
You see? So, they still hanging us. They're still hanging us. They're still doing what they did to us centuries ago. And now they've mastered it so much that now they can just say it's suicide, and now it's just like whatever.
People having black people was so deeply internalized and reinforced by church and government and business that black town halls were burned, black churches were burned, And if a black man defended himself against the aggressor, against the white man, not only could he be killed, but his family could be killed. He might be subjected to hours of torture. In some cases, more than one, the black man was tied on a log and burned from his feet up, so that an extensive crowd of people could take pleasure out of the screams and the horror.
See that? That's why these plagues are upon these heathens. Alright, let's keep going. Humiliated by the heathen, and I will burn with fire those who mocked them and ruled over them in this age, and I will deliver those who have covered me with mockery over to the scorn of the coming age. Because I have prepared them to be food for the fire of Hades. That means they're going straight to hell in the lake of fire. And to be ceaseless soaring in the air of the underworld regions, hell. Of the uttermost depths, to be the contents of a wormy belly. For the makers will I see them in justice. So they are going to get justice. And this is what these people This is what these people have done. Let me show you. Jeremiah 49, Jeremiah 50, verse 7. And all that my people, here it is. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. All that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, We offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. You see, so this is why they think it's okay to kill us, because they think that we are the curse of Ham, and that we have sinned against God, and this is supposed to be happening to us. All right, and this is the curse of Ham. They call the Negro Hamites, so that's why they do this to us, because they say, well, we ain't doing nothing wrong because you guys are Hamites, and that's why we're doing it to you. But little do they know, we are the children of Israel, and they are going to pay severely for what they have done. All right. For the makers will see them in justice, the makers who have chosen my desire and manifestly kept my commandments. And they will. So this is the only people who are going to be recompensed are the ones who are keeping the Most High's commandments. And they will rejoice with the merrymaking over the downfall of the men who remain and who followed after the idols and after their murders. For they shall putrefy in the belly of the crafty worm Azazel, and be burned by the fire of Azazel's tongue. For I waited so that they might come to me, and they did not deign to. And they glorified an alien god, that means the devil, and they joined one to whom they had not been allotted, and they abandoned the Lord, who had gave them strength. Therefore, hear Abraham, and see, behold, your seventh generation shall go with you, and they will go out into an alien land, and they will enslave them and oppress them, as for 1 hour of an impious age. I did the research on that, on the math, and the hour of an impious age, I brought it down to 400 years. So the Most High put us in time out for, in His time, an hour, but in our time it's 400 years. But of that nation whom they shall serve, I am the judge. And Yahuwah said this too. Have you heard, Abraham, what I told you, what your tribe will encounter in the last days? Abraham, having heard this, accepted the words of the Most High in his heart. There's also precepts to this. Genesis chapter 15, believe chapter 15, 13, I believe, where it says the 400 years, and also Acts 7:6 also says the same thing. So this is a precept actually to that. All right. So as you guys see all these plagues that are happening right now, and you see what's pretty much going on, and the Most High has brought the plagues upon the earth, and these people, they have to pay for it. All right, so just stay strong in the faith, y'all. Oh yeah, it's Genesis 15:13. Stay strong, y'all. In the faith, keep following the Most High statutes and commandments. Don't fall off. Don't let these heathens make you angry, because they're gonna get their judgment. Even though we can't do anything to them, but our Father is He's doing something to them for us. All right. So all praise to the Most High. I hope you guys got something from this. Stay strong. Oh, and another thing. If you can, flee from the main cities. Like, you guys know what's going on in the main cities. You gotta leave from the main cities. If you don't, unless the Most High is with you, you're going to be in bad shape. You see the food shortage. I showed you all the plagues. You should be watching these things. As a matter of fact, there's a scripture. Let me get that scripture. Let me get the scripture before I leave. Let me get the scripture. Well, the Most High told us to be like pilgrims on the earth, but that really means like a nomad. So it really means like a nomad. Alright? And where is that? Where is that? 2nd Ezra 15. Here it is. 2nd Ezra 16:40. Let's go down here. Hear my words, O my people, prepare for the battle, and in the midst of the calamities, be like strangers on the earth. Now, in a few different translations, that says pilgrims, and it says nomads, and means strangers. But what that means is, when all this stuff starts happening, we got to move. So if you see something coming, pack up your stuff and go. That's what our people are known for. We known for shaking it. Whenever our Father tells us that trouble is coming, we get out of that way so those people or that city could be judged. I know the city that I was living in is going to be judged, so I had to leave. Okay? That's just my advice, you guys. I love all my people. All the wicked family members that we have, there's nothing you can do for them. You try to wake them up, all they do is mock you to the scorn. All right? I hope you guys got something from this. I want to say all praises to the Most High. I love my people dearly. I love you guys. I love the Most High even more. I hope you guys got something from this lesson, and please prepare yourselves for the battle. All right? Shalom.